Good evening. This is Amit Vakkarel, and let's begin with the top stories of this hour. 8th Republic Day celebration a low-key affair in view of the earthquake-induced calamity. Government decides to hold off celebration as a tribute to earthquake victims. International Mount Everest Day observed today. The world's highest peak reels under the challenges of climate change and garbage management. Massive heat wave in India claims above 1,800 lives. Heat spell starts seas with forecast of rain. And FIFA's presidential election underway amid controversy and scandal. Sepp Blatter and Jordan Prince Ali bin Hussein in the fray.
मास्टर बिल्डर सिमेन्ट हरेक कणले बोकेको छ मजबुत शक्ति अन्य विदेशी सिमेन्ट भन्दा मजबुत विजया सिमेन्टको ओपीसी मास्टर बिल्डर सिमेन्ट बिल्डिङ योर फ्युचर.
It was 8th Republic Day today amid national calamity ensued by April 25 earthquake and its subsequent strong tremors. The government decided to hold off all Republic Day celebration as a tribute to earthquake victims. Prior to this, the government had observed this day according to Nepalese calendar as Republic Day, heralding the end of 240-year-old Saha dynasty in 2008. We have a report.
The first Constituent Assembly meeting of May 29, 2008 had abolished monarchy to announce the country as a republic state. Since then, every year, the government held a special program at the Army Pavilion to observe Republic Day celebrations. However, this year, the Army Pavilion is filled with earthquake victims taking shelter. On the 25th of April, when a massive earthquake struck the nation, some 12,000 people had taken shelter at the Army Pavilion. When we visited the pavilion today, some 4,000 people from 705 households were still camped at the place. For children and young mothers, the vigil inside the tents and tarpaulins has never been easy. Some social organizations have been providing food twice in the day. However, queuing up in long lines has not been easy for 26 would-be mothers inside these tents. There are some 575 children who are under the age of 10 years. For these children, the Army Pavilion presently serves as both a playground and a school. Meanwhile, the old and weak, far away from the ravaged homes, have their own sorry stories to share. At this moment, we can only hope that the Republic Day next year will give us better reasons for celebrations.
Prime Minister Sushil Koirala has inspected Basantapur's archaeological and cultural heritages destroyed in the recent earthquakes. The Premier inspected the places listed among the World Heritage Sites this morning. He observed Nasal Chowk, Narasimha Chowk, Moonsok, Kumarighar among other places inside the Basantapur Darbar Square premises. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Koirala said that the countries like Britain, the US, Japan, China, Thailand, Bangladesh, India, among others, have pledged their support in the reconstruction of the damaged cultural infrastructures. He said that the reconstruction would be carried out without hampering the historical arts and cultures. Nepal Army, Armed Police Force, Nepal Police, government employees and ministers jointly cleared the rubble from the damaged sites in the early morning today. Finance Minister Ram Saran Mahat, Agriculture Minister Hariprasad Parajuli, Chief Whip Leelamani Paudel also lent their hands to clean up the debris. The world's most popular search engine, Google, has featured a new doodle on its homepage dedicated to the Nepal's 8th Republic Day. Google's new doodle portrays candles lit in front of a Buddhist stupa and a temple in memory of a recent earthquake victims in Nepal. The government has decided not to hold any formal celebration of the Republic Day this year owing to the tragedy induced by the devastating earthquake. Google said that Nepal has become an international symbol of splendor, peace and tenacity 7 years after officially turning into a federal democratic republic. In its statement, Google has also praised the strength and resilience of Nepali citizens in terms of bringing about the change after decades of movements and revolutions. The international search giant further said that it's with all the Nepalese at the time of the current crisis in the aftermath of the earthquake. Google added that its new doodle would help remind the Nepalese that their vigor and determination is an inspiration to the entire world. Earlier in 2008 as well, Google had portrayed Mount Everest and summiters on its landing page to mark the Everest Expedition Day. Around 3.5 billion international visitors browse through the search engine on a daily basis. Established in the year 1998, Google earned more than 14.4 billion rupees in 2014 alone. The Party Coordination Task Force, comprising of representatives from 6 major political parties, have advised all organizations to carry out relief and reconstruction efforts through government channels. The task force claimed that relief operations cannot be effective when carried out individually. They have urged the organizations working on ground to coordinate with the government before carrying out their operations. Earlier, the task force had handed over 500 tents meant for the earthquake victims to the government on May 18th. Disaster Management Division's Chief Rameshwar Tangal praised the efforts of the task force for carrying out relief operations through one-tour policy. The task force comprises of representatives from Nepali Congress, PMF, Unified Maoist Madhesi Janadhikar Forum, Forum Loktantrik, and Tarai Madhes Loktantrik Party. The task force organized a press meet in the capital today and expressed its commitment of coordinating with the government to carry out reconstruction programs in the near future. It was the International Mount Everest Day today. Various programs were organized nationwide to mark the day. A rally was taken out from Trikuti Mandap this morning to mark the occasion. During the program, tourism entrepreneurs demanded the government to make special arrangements to revive the country's ailing tourism sector. The International Mount Everest Day commemorates the first ascent of Mount Everest on this day by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay in 1953. The day has been observed since 2008. Compared to previous years, celebrations have been toned down this year with due respect to the earthquake tragedy in the country. Last year, 16 Nepali climbers died in an avalanche during the start of the Everest season. This year, 18 climbers died during an avalanche at the Everest base camp triggered by the April 25th earthquake. All Everest expeditions have been on hold for the last 2 seasons because of the tragic disasters on the mountain. The world's highest peak, Mount Everest, is a huge international tourist attraction. However, climate change and garbage management have recently turned out major challenges facing the Everest region. It's become a tall task to manage the garbage scattered by mountaineers visiting the Everest premises. The mountain was opened for scaling since May 29, 1953. However, cleaning up of the garbage piled up on and around the mountainside began only in 2010. Altogether, 21 tons of garbage has already been removed from the Mount Everest as of yet. The cleanup is being performed up to 6,000 meters from the base camp. However, cleaning up the garbage beyond this height remains a difficult task. Even today, more than 189 dead bodies are left unattended, scattered all around the mountain. The government and tourism entrepreneurs have taken some initiative to clean up the mess surrounding the mountain area. However, the effort couldn't have been effective recently owing to the lack of a coordinated approach. On the other hand, the mountain has also been bearing the effects of climate change. The increase in global temperature has been consistently melting down the mountain's snow. Meanwhile, the International Unified Mountaineers Development and Research Center has set up a mechanism to assess the snow level on Mount Everest. Given the difficult scenario Mount Everest is going through in recent days, a serious national and international initiative is a must for the mountain's sustainable protection. In the context of Mount Everest Day today, we asked the residents of capital how do they take the Mount Everest. Before we go for a short break, let's take a look at what they had to say.
Janata Ko Awaaz, brought to you by First Stop in A-Level, Xavier International.
हामीले विषयलाई चिनाउनु पर्छ मलाई यस विषयमा गर्व लाग्छ
यदि कुनै पनि मान्छेले नेपालको परिचय सुरुवात गर्छन् त्यो सगरमाथाबाट नै सुरुवात हुन्छ मेरो विचारमा चाहिँ सगरमाथा नेपालको मुख्य परिचय नै हो
हाम्रो नेपाललाई चिनाउने एउटा चिसो पहाडको हिमाल हो त्यो चाहिँ हाम्रो नेपाललाई हरेक देशले चिनाउने चिन्ह हो
नेपालको गौरव हो संसारभरि हाम्रो नेपाललाई चिनाउने एउटा परिचय दिने एउटा साधन भनौं माध्यम हो
शिर उच्च गराउनुका साथसाथै हामीलाई चाहिँ विश्वमा परिचय गराउने एउटा चाहिँ नेपालको चिन्हको रूपमा बुझिन्छ यो सगरमाथा भनेको चाहिँ नेपालको शिर अर्थात् नेपाललाई विश्वमा चिनाउने एउटा आस्था
सबभन्दा अग्लो चाहिँ सगरमाथा हो है अनि म नेपाली नागरिक हुनु लागि एकदम धेरै खुसी लाग्यो
सगरमाथा भनेको नेपालको शान हो र हाम्रो देशको पहिचान हो कति देशले नेपाल भनेर चिन्दैनन् होला, तर सगरमाथाको देश भनेर चिन्छन्।
हामीले लगाउने टोपी जो हो नि, अनि त्यो नै सगरमाथाको चिन्ह रहेछ। यो नेपालबाट आएको हो, सगरमाथा देशबाट आएको रहेछ भनेर विदेशीहरूले चाहिँ चिन्दा रहेछन्।
नेपालको पहिचान नै हो सगरमाथा भनेको, किनभने विश्वको जुनसुकै कुनामा गए पनि सगरमाथा भन्ने बित्तिकै नेपाल भन्ने चिनिन्छ। त्यही सगरमाथा भनेको नेपालको चिनो हो। सगरमाथा नेपाल एकदम पर्यायवाची जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई।
यस्तो साइन हो हुन्छ नि, जो चाहिँ हामीलाई एकदम अटल र एकदमै पावरफुल र स्ट्रङ उभिनको लागि एउटा साइन पनि हो हाम्रो लागि। जुन रिसेन्टली हाम्रो देशमा यस्तो ठुलो डिजास्टर भयो, सगरमाथा चाहिँ एउटा हामीले त्यस्तै महत्त्वको रूपमा लिन सक्छौँ कि जस्तो परिस्थितिमा पनि हामी आफूलाई एकदम अटल राखिराख्नुपर्छ भनेर बुझाउँछौँ।
Locals in Nawalparasi have started setting up temporary shelters in schools that were damaged by the earthquake in the district. Students were forced to take their classes under open sky as the schools were ravaged by the earthquake. The locals swiftly responded to a call by District Education Office and have come together to build temporary shelter for the schools. Security personnel are helping in the rebuilding process. According to the Education Office, 115 schools have been damaged by the earthquake in Nawalparasi, among which 12 schools have been completely destroyed. Other schools have been partially damaged. The majority of damaged schools fall in the hilly region. Classroom curriculum of 26 schools in Mugu's Eastern Karan area has been affected after students went to Patan area to collect Yarsa Kumbha. Students above grade 4 went to Patan area along with their parents to collect Yarsa Kumbha, which yields high returns. Studies at 26 schools in Mugu's Roa, Magri, Pulu, Ruga, among other places, have come to a standstill as students spend some 2 months in the high hills collecting Yarsa Kumbha. Each student earns around 50 to 60,000 rupees every year by collecting Yarsa Kumbha. The medicinal herb, known for its potent power, has a high demand in foreign countries. The sugarcane farmers of Salai have resorted to demonstrations and blocked the highway after the sugar mills failed to pay them even 2 months after the government fixed the sugar prices. The farmers staged a sit-in for 2 hours in Salai's Harion demanding their money from sugar mills. The farmers came out on the streets with sugarcane shoots, claiming they had been deceived by the sugar mill owners. 2 months earlier, the government had set the price of sugarcane to 461 rupees per quintal after 4 months of gap. 2 sugar mills in Salai that carried out the crushing of 5.4 million quintal of sugarcane are yet to pay the farmers more than 2 billion rupees. A festival has been organized in the famous tourist destination Serung village of Lamjung. The Serung Rural Tourism Committee said that the festival is being organized with the intention of conserving the local Khatu culture. Local food, herbs, handicrafts and Gurung culture, Khatu dance and Krishna biography, among others, are being exhibited in the festival. The organizers have said that the amount collected in the festival will be used to provide relief to earthquake victims. 60,000 rupees was collected on the first day of the festival. The festival ended today. The massive heat wave sweeping India is starting to ease with forecast of rain in some affected states. Officials say nearly 1,800 people have died in the worst hit region, where temperatures rose above 45 to 49 degrees Celsius. Clouds have formed under some parts of the 2 states, and weather officials say pre-monsoon showers are likely to provide some relief today. The monsoon is due to reach Kerala in the south by the end of May. It will then sweep across the country. In the worst affected state of Andhra Pradesh, where temperatures have hit 47 degrees Celsius, more than 1,300 people are reported to have died since 18th of May. In neighboring Telangana, where officials say at least 340 people have died from heat-related conditions, temperatures have declined. Meanwhile, India's public hospitals are struggling to cope with patients of the heat wave. The Delhi-based Research Organization Center for Science and Environment said the high deaths this year could be because of the sudden onset of heat. Islamic State militants have killed 20 men at the ancient theater inside the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Palmyra, central Syria, according to a monitoring group. Residents were rounded up and forced to watch the men being shot, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says. About 240 people, mostly soldiers, have now been killed by IS since it overran the town last week. It comes amid fears IS may destroy the 2,000-year-old Roman-era ruins. IS militants have already destroyed ancient sites in Iraq that predate Islam, most recently the ancient city of Nimrud, one of Iraq's greatest archaeological treasures. Since the town's takeover, IS has also taken control of a military air base and a notorious prison nearby. Muhammadu Buhari has vowed to launch an intensified military campaign against the Boko Haram armed group after being formally sworn in as Nigeria's president. The former military ruler, who was sworn in the capital city of Abuja today, said that he had inherited enormous challenges, including economic turmoil and widespread unrest. The new president said he would set up a new military command center in the northeastern city of Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, which has been a Boko Haram stronghold. Dressed in traditional Muslim attire, Buhari stood on the stage clutching a Quran in his right hand as he pledged to uphold the constitution and laws of Africa's most populous nation. The 72-year-old takes over as head of Africa's most populous nation, top economy and leading oil producer as it limps back to normality after fuel shortages that brought the country to a near standstill. And time now for another short break. For more news, do stay with us. The government had earlier declared that it would provide money for the earthquake victims to purchase corrugated iron sheets and build their temporary shelters. Despite receiving the money, people are having a hard time finding corrugated sheets in the market as most distribution centers have already run out of stock. Sivasundar Thakwa requires 10 bundles of iron sheets to build temporary shelter for 4 family members. But he says it has been 4 days as he has not found any distribution centers in his area who can supply him the sheets. Like Sivasundar, many people in the capital are being forced to wait for their turn for days and even weeks to receive the sheets. The distributors claim that they have not been able to address the immediate surge in demand for corrugated sheets following the earthquake. According to the distributors, the current demand can be met only by supplying 1 truck full of iron sheets on a daily basis. But they claim that 1 truck load of sheets is being managed for an entire week. As the monsoon approaches, many people are worried that they would be left without a proper shelter in the rain if they do not find iron sheets in the market soon. And it's now time for our segment, Public Pulse, where you SMS us with your opinion. Hundreds of officials from the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, have gathered in Zurich to elect a leader at the FIFA's annual Congress this afternoon amid debate and controversy. FIFA's 209 member associations will elect a new president. Blatter is the overwhelming favorite this time with support from North and South American, Africa and Asia, while Prince Ali is being backed by Europe and the US. Renowned Sri Lankan cricketer Lasith Malinga is also confirmed to play in the bat for the Nepal match. The match is being played in Malaysia to collect funds for earthquake victims in Nepal. The match is scheduled on 9th of August in Kinrara Oval Stadium of Malaysia. Malinga will play from World 11 against Nepal. President of Malaysian Cricket Association, Fali Puram, confirmed Malinga's participation in the charity match. Prior to this, Lankan players Sanath Jayasuriya and Rosan Mahanama have also confirmed participation. Another Lankan player, Mahela Jayawardene, has also expressed his willingness to be a part of the charity match. And before we wrap up, a reminder of the top stories. 8th Republic Day celebration, a low-key affair in view of the earthquake-induced calamity. Government decides to hold off celebration as a tribute to earthquake victims. International Mount Everest Day observed today, the world's highest peak reels under the challenges of climate change and garbage management. Massive heat wave in India claims above 1,800 lives. Heat spell starts to ease with forecast of rain. And FIFA's presidential election underway amid controversy and scandal. Sepp Blatter and Jordan Prince Ali bin Hussein in the fray. And that's all for this hour. Up next is Nepali Bulletin. Keep watching Kantipur Television. Bye for now.